deliver a full recap of today's game, including highlights from the biggest moments. Listen to Craig Stammen's post-game comments. Plus, we'll bring you today's play of the game. From the Padres Radio Network, here's Sam Levitt.
Sheets and Machado take their leads. The 0-2. Ty swings, hits it in the air, left field and deep. Edman is back. He's going to watch this one. Going to go! Ty France, a 3-run homer. He puts an 0-2 pitch over the left field wall. And for the second consecutive game, exit stage left for Ty France. And the Padres lead it 3-1.
Ty France strikes again, and the Padres cruise to a 7-1 win over the LA Dodgers as the Padres win a fourth consecutive game. They win this series opener against LA. A very happy Friday night here at Petco Park, and the Padres are playing some good baseball as they once again win the opening game of this weekend. 3 games set by a final score of 7-1. Sam Levitt with you inside the loft here at the Western Metal Building at Petco Park. Welcome into our Jamul Casino Resort Padres post-game show. I caught up with one of tonight's heroes, Ty France, just moments ago.
Ty, your first career at bat against Roki Sasaki. You fall behind 0-2. How are you ready to turn around that slider?
Yeah, I mean, he threw 2 really good pitches right out of the gate and kind of just went out and went into battle mode, and he threw a hittable slider and put a good swing on it.
A big home run on Wednesday, another home run here tonight. What's allowing you to tap into that power right now?
Just swinging at the right pitches. My swing this month hasn't felt the greatest, but overall this year, I feel like my old self again. So the big thing is swinging at the right pitches.
4 straight wins. Does it feel like this team is starting to build some momentum again?
Yeah, I mean, we're playing good baseball right now against really good teams. So just got to keep building off each night and get after it the next day.
Packed house here tonight. This Padres Dodgers thing feel a little bit different than the last time you were in this uniform back in 19 and 20.
Yeah, definitely. We're a really good baseball team. So anytime you get to go up against one of the best teams, it's a lot of fun, and we're playing good baseball right now.
Ty, congrats on the big swing here tonight. Thanks so much.
Yeah, you got it.
That was Ty France right after tonight's 7-1 win. Ty, the big 3-run home run against Roki Sasaki. That set the tone early. The Padres pitching was absolutely tremendous in this game. We will get into all of it. Walker Buehler, a stellar outing against his former team, picks up the win. The bullpen, excellent once again here tonight, and the Padres adding on runs late. Also a very big deal in this one as the Padres win this series opener from the LA Dodgers. When we come back, we have all the radio highlights for you. We'll recap this game from start to finish. We'll go downstairs, hear from Craig Stammen. Coming up a little bit later as well, Padres win this series opener 7-1. San Diego has won 4 in a row. Our Jamul Casino Resort Padres postgame show continues after this on the Padres Radio Network. Our Jamul Casino Resort Padres postgame show continues here on the Padres Radio Network. Sam Levitt with you inside the loft here at the Western Metal Building at Petco Park as we continue to wrap this one up. Padres beat the Dodgers in this series opener here tonight by a final score of 7-1. The Padres have won 4 in a row. A lot to do on our post-game coverage. We'll go downstairs, hear from Craig Stammen in just a little bit. Full look at the out-of-town scoreboard coming your way, your phone calls, and much, much more. As always, our post-game coverage brought to you by Jamul Casino Resort. Hey, player, need a little me time? Jamul Spa was just named one of the top 100 spas in America. Jamul Casino Resort, the player's place. Well, if you're just joining us or just checking out the final score of tonight's game, you'll see a final score of 7-1. But that final score, to be honest with you, not indicative of what this game was here tonight on a beautiful Friday night here in downtown San Diego. Let's recap this one from start to finish.
Which moments determine the outcome of today's game? We'll paint you a picture with our game highlights on the Padres Radio Network.
Our starting pitching matchup here tonight, the former Dodger, Walker Buehler, against the guy who could have been a Padre, Roki Sasaki. Both righties worked around a base runner in a scoreless first inning. We had a scoreless game going to the top of the second. Mookie Betts led off for L.A.
Buehler's first pitch to him is hit in the air, deep to left field. Samad Taylor goes back. He's at the wall, leaps up, and tried to make the catch, but could not. Just over the fence, and a home run for the Red Hot Bets. It is 300th career home run on Wednesday in Minneapolis, and now number 301 here in the second inning tonight. The Dodgers take a 1-0 lead.
That's all Buehler allowed in the second. Sasaki got himself in major trouble in the bottom half of the inning. He walked Manny Machado to start the inning. He walked Gavin Sheets after that. There were 2 on base for Ty France.
Sheets and Machado take their leads. The 0-2. Ty swings, hits it in the air, left field and deep. Edman is back. He's going to watch this one. Going to go! Ty France, a 3-run homer. He puts an 0-2 pitch over the left field wall. And for the second consecutive game, exit stage left for Ty France. And the Padres lead it 3-1.
Padres led 3-1 after 2 innings. Ty France with his 10th home run of the season, a big swing against Sasaki. Padres continue to have chances against Sasaki, loading the bases in the bottom of the 4th and the bottom of the 5th inning, but they only led 3-1 through 5. That lead was kept intact because Walker Buehler was really good once again. After giving up the early home run, Buehler settled in a scoreless 3rd, scoreless 4th, and a scoreless 5th. Padres still led 3-1 going to the 6th inning. Buehler issued a 1-out walk to Andy Pages. That was it for Buehler. Craig Stammen went to Yuki Matsui to face Freddie Freeman. Freeman doubled to left. That sent Pages to third base. So the Padres then intentionally walked Mookie Betts to load the bases. That was to get more lefties for Matsui, and that strategy worked perfectly. Matsui got a pop out from Max Muncy. He got a fly out from Kyle Tucker. The inning was over. The Dodgers stranding. The bases loaded. An excellent job by Yuki Matsui. Padres still led just 3-1 after 6. Jason Adam came on. He faced the bottom 3rd of the Dodger lineup. He retired the side in order. Edgardo Enriquez pitched the scoreless bottom of the 7th inning for L.A. Adrian Morejon came on to face the top of the Dodger lineup in the 8th inning. He retired Shohei Ohtani, but then back-to-back singles for Andy Pages and Freddie Freeman. So Morejon in a great deal of trouble. Padres leading by 2, 3-1. The tying runs were aboard for Mookie Betts.
0-1 from Morejon. Betts swings, hits it on the ground, right up the middle to Song. He'll take it to the bag one, on to first in time. And again, Mookie Betts has grounded into a double play. This one will end the 8th.
Big double play ball off the bat of Mookie Betts. Once again, the Padres out of trouble. They went to the bottom half of the 8th inning, leading just 3-1. Padres looking for insurance. And man, oh man, would they get it. Bases loaded for Sung Moon Song.
1-1. Song grounds it slowly up the middle. That'll roll into center field and a base hit. Bowen is scored. Here comes Bogarts. The throw goes to third. France is out there, but behind the play, Song into second base, and the Padres have finally added on. It's 5-1.
A 5-1 game. Padres were far from done. That brought up Rodolfo Duran.
This one is in the air to left field. Long run. Edman in and towards the line. Not going to get there. Song will race home. Duran to second. The throw gets away. An RBI double and 6-1.
So Duran making it 6-1. Padres weren't done. It brought up Toddy.
First pitch swinging, line drive over the head of Freeland into center and a base hit. Here comes another. Duran will score. It's 7-1.
4 big insurance runs for the Padres, not just because it extended the lead, but it meant the Padres could sit Mason Miller down and not use him in a save situation in the 9th inning. Padres leading 7-1 going to the 9th inning. Wandy Peralta came on, and he put on the finishing touch to this series opening victory.
Pitch on the way. Edman sharp grounder right to short. Bogarts to Song 1. The turn to first in time, and a game-ending 6-4-3 double play. Padres have taken game 1 against the Dodgers, and thanks to a 4-run 8th inning, they do so emphatically. 7-1.
A start of 17 games in 17 days against some really, really good competition, and the Padres begin that stretch on a high note. A 7-1 win against the LA Dodgers to begin this 3-game series here tonight. The Padres have won 4 in a row. Padres move to 43-37 on the season. Dodgers drop to 52-30. 7 runs, 7 hits, no errors for San Diego. 1 run, 7 hits, and no errors for LA. Padres went 4 for 10 with runners in scoring position. The Dodgers, and this was a big number here tonight, they went 0 for 4 with RISP. Walker Buehler, the former Dodger, picks up the win. He was great. 5 innings and a third. 1 run given up. Buehler improves to 5-3. Roki Sasaki takes the loss. He drops to 3-5, and the Padres win it 7-1. When we come back, we'll hear from Padres manager Craig Stammen. Much, much more to do on our Jamul Casino Resort Padres postgame show from Petco Park on the Padres Radio Network. Padres win it on this Friday night. Final score, the Padres 7 and the Dodgers 1. Sam Levitt with you inside the loft here at the Western Metal Building at Petco Park as we continue our Jamul Casino Resort Padres post-game show. The Padres have won 4 in a row. They've done it against a couple of first-place teams, the 3-game sweep of the Braves, and now the series opening win here tonight, 7-1 against the LA Dodgers. Lot to do on our post-game coverage. We'll hear from Craig Stammen in just a moment, so stay tuned for that. I know with the Apple TV broadcast tonight, there was no telecast of Craig Stammen's post-game comments, so I'm sure many of you, more of you, are tuned in right now, getting ready to hear from Craig. We appreciate you tuning in, if that is the case on this Friday evening. Before we hear from Craig, couple of things here. Number one, obviously, Ty France, huge home run in this game. 0-2 pitch from Roki Sasaki, got a slider, hit it out. And that would be the only swing the Padres needed here tonight, right? They took a 3-1 lead, and had the score stayed that way, Padres would have won this game had that run total stayed at 3. But the Padres did a really, really good job tacking on those 4 runs in the bottom half of the 8th inning. And Jesse and Tony talked about it at the time, and they made a great point. Hey, anytime against this Dodger team that you can pick up a win and you don't have to use Mason Miller, especially when you're starting a 17-game and 17-day stretch leading you up until the All-Star break, that is a really big deal. I mean, Mason was getting up, getting loose, getting ready for a potential save situation, and the Padres put it out of reach. That was huge in the big picture of this series and of this, difficult stretch with a lack of an off day now until the All-Star break. So that was a big deal. I don't feel like we've talked enough about Walker Buehler. We mentioned him in the open before we heard from Ty France. We got to him in the game recap there. But Walker Buehler just continues to be this team's best starting pitcher in the last month or so. 5 innings and a third, 1 run given up, 3 hits. Aside from the Betts home run, Buehler was really, really good against obviously a very, very good Dodger lineup. And for him to do it against his former team, we heard from him pregame, and he kind of shrugged it off that, if he was going to have any emotions attached to it, would have happened last year when he faced him for the first time. But whether there are or aren't any emotions attached to it for Walker Buehler, that's got to be pretty sweet to pick up the win against his former team. And he was once again really, really good tonight. I mean, think about this. In the month of June now, 5 starts in June, Walker Buehler has a 1.71 ERA. He has not allowed more than 1 run in each outing this month. So Walker has been this team's best starting pitcher over the course of the last month and a half. Bottom line, no way around it. He has been this team's best starting pitcher, most consistent starting pitcher for the last month or so. And he is turning into quite the story for the 2026 Padres. France, the home run. Buehler was great. And then the bullpen, and I'm sure Craig Stammen will get asked about it in a moment, going to Yuki Matsui in the 6th inning to face Freeman and Betts, and then Muncy and Tucker with the bases loaded. Talk about putting a lot of faith in Yuki Matsui. We have not seen Yuki in a lot of situations like that, high leverage spots against a big-time lineup. And Matsui did give up the double to Freeman. Now, Taylor came close to catching it. But after that, he bared down, and he got 2 tough lefties in Muncy and Tucker in a huge spot in a 3-1 game with the bases loaded. That was excellent work by Yuki Matsui. Adam, the scoreless 8th inning. Morahone gets a big double play off the bat of Mookie Betts to get out of the 8th inning. I think I said Adam, 8th inning. Adam, a scoreless 7th inning. Morahone, a scoreless 8th inning. And then the Padres, again, putting it out of reach, and they could sit Mason Miller down for the 9th inning. Padres win it 7-1 over the Dodgers. Let's go downstairs and hear some post-game reaction.
Let's pull up a seat in the manager's office and hear from Padres skipper Craig Stammen. Served up by Sinley Food. If you've had better chicken, you must be a rooster.
Craig, can you talk about Walker's night? I'm sure in the course of that you can discuss the decision to take him out there at that point.
Yeah, he was pitching great tonight. Kept his pitch down low, was throwing a lot of strikes. I think at the end I just felt like he went 3-0 on both those guys, and the middle of their order coming up was going to be pretty tough for him to navigate. And that's kind of like how we've seen him pitch a little bit. He's going really good, really good, really good. And then he has I'm a little older guy right now. I need I need to be taken out. So trying to find that right time as the manager to do it with him, but also give him a leash to, get us as many innings as he can.
And then how big was that, Yuki, doing that and then allowing you to basically do like it's drawn up for the 7th and the 8th?
Right, exactly. And Yuki's part of our drawn up plan. So the way he's been pitching this year, and he handled those lefties in the middle of the lineup really well. The fly ball, that was a tough one for Taylor to get off a Freeman, but turned it right around, walked Mookie, and then was able to get Muncy to pop up and get Tucker out at the end. That was a big inning for us, helped us have a chance to win the game.
How is Ty doing?
Yeah, Ty, obviously got hit on the hand, and then his slide late in the game kind of jammed his hand, the same hand. So he was feeling a little tender in that area. So we'll have to, evaluate him tonight, get x-rays, see what that's all. But, I think he was able to take at bats after he got hit. Was able to play defense. There was nothing going on. I think, he just kind of jammed it sliding into the base.
How integral has he been to you guys, and especially in the last couple of weeks here?
Yeah, I mean, he's had some clutch hits for us. He's had some big home runs. Like, just when our offense is struggling, he's come up with a big hit, and tonight was no different. That 3-run home run gave us the lead and allowed us to go to our bullpen quickly and use the guys we want to use to finish it out.
What does it say about Yuki that he has kind of moved toward this role where you're giving him a high leverage spot like that one tonight?
Yeah, you know what? It says like he put in a ton of work this offseason. He had kind of unlucky injury bug during spring training. But he was ready to go from the jump last year. He wanted to improve on his season the year before. And we spent a lot of time allowing him to get right in AAA. And when he's come here, he's been just nails. And he's, we had him in kind of a long relief, low leverage role, and he's worked his way into, facing 3, 4, 5, 6 for the Dodgers.
Even though Walker is more advanced in age now, like you said, what has that push-pull been like this year, taking him out of some games that he's pitching pretty well in? Like, has he been mostly understanding, you feel like? Or?
Yeah, in the moment, like, he likes to let me know he's not happy on the mound. And then when we get back in the dugout, he's already cooled off. So, he's handled it really well. He's been a very professional pitcher in that regard. He understands, my job as the manager. He understands his job as the pitcher on the team. He knows that he's pitching well and that he can get a lot of guys out, but he also knows that we got a really good bullpen that can finish the game and get him a win. So nothing but great things to say about Walker, how he's performed and how he's treated me and interacted with me.
He seems to be a guy who, as much as any of your starters, has put himself in a position where if the offense scored a little bit more, you might give him a longer leash. Is that
right? For sure. We're winning that game 6-1 or 5-1. Maybe we let him out there for a few more outs and just see if he can get out of that himself. But I think tonight was just a little bit different. After he came back out for that 6th inning, he went 3-0 on both guys. He just looked a little bit, he didn't have what he had early in the game. But there's been other games this year where he's been cruising and we've taken him out pretty quickly. But, he's definitely earned the right to face that lineup a third time.
It could have been 5-1 or 6-1 tonight. And then finally you guys load the bases and come through. Like, what did you make of the opportunities you guys are giving yourself a lot more of recently?
Yeah, you're right. And you're not always going to come through in every opportunity, but the more opportunities we give ourselves, the better chance we have of one of those kind of breaking through. And we did that, in the last inning tonight. So I love the bats that we're taking. I love us getting a lot of people on the bases. We just got to do a little bit better. Those leadoff doubles, we got to figure out a way to get that guy to third and get him in. But eventually, we get enough people on base, we're going to score some runs.
That was Padres manager Craig Stammen following this 7-1 win for the Padres against the LA Dodgers in front of another sold-out crowd here tonight, more than 43,000 in the building. A lot to chew on there from Craig. When we come back, I want to talk a little bit more about Yuki Matsui coming in the 6th inning, and I really think tonight illuminated something pretty important about the Padres bullpen and this matchup against the Dodgers in particular. We'll discuss that when we come back. We'll also get to your phone calls. If you want to get them in, 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973, the phone number to call if you want to get involved, talk about tonight's game, talk about the way the Padres have played this week. 4 consecutive wins, and they beat the LA Dodgers 7-1 in this series opener here tonight. Our post-game coverage continues from Petco Park after this. Casino Resort Padres postgame show continues here on the Padres Radio Network. Jamul Casino Resort, the Players Place. Sam Levitt with you inside the loft here at the Western Metal Building at Petco Park. Phone number to call if you want to get involved on our postgame coverage, 833-288-0973. 833-288-0973. The phone number, we'll get to some of your phone calls here a little bit later in this segment. I want to get to a couple of things here before we get to our daily awards. We'll look at the out-of-town scoreboard coming your way as well in just a bit. We didn't talk about, and this is on me a little bit, we didn't talk about Ty France. Well, we talked about him as far as the home run and what he did tonight. But France was hit by a pitch from Sasaki in the fourth inning. And I'll tell you what, at the time he got hit, it was right in the left wrist. He was down on the ground getting looked at by the Padres athletic training staff, and I was pretty concerned because the way he reacted, how long he was sitting there on the ground, the way they were looking at his wrist and that hand area. There are so many small bones around the wrist and the hand. It's a bad place to get hit. I mean, let's just be honest. We see guys break bones in there on pitches like that when they get hit in that kind of area, and it didn't look great. Now, France got up and he went to first base, and he continued to play. He ended up having 2 more at-bats. He played great defense, looked okay. Now, France did come out in the top of the 9th inning. Miguel Andujar replaced him and played first base. And look, they were up 7-1, so they probably had a little bit of luxury to do that just to get him out of the game. And you also heard Craig say he sort of jammed it on the slide into third base in the 8th inning as well. Look, you hope he's okay. I tend to agree with Craig. To me, it's a good sign that he essentially finished the game, but he did say x-rays. So, look, fingers crossed that this isn't any kind of scenario where he finished the game and he's got something fractured or broken in that left wrist area. Again, I don't even want to speak that into any type of existence, but, you hear x-rays, and it did sound like there was at least a little concern just because he was so tender in that area. So fingers crossed it's nothing for Ty France, and hopefully just a bad bruise and an ouchie, if you will. So hopefully nothing for Ty France, but it does sound like something that bothered him as the game went on, and he jammed it on the slide. But again, hopefully x-rays will be negative. Nothing big for Ty France, but should have mentioned that. I'll be honest with you, in my post-game interview with him, I didn't bring it up because he kept on playing. What's he going to say to me in that spot anyway? He's going to say, yeah, it hurts. It's, I'll be all right. I mean, but it was kind of out of my mind because he kept on playing. So hopefully nothing at all for Ty France that will linger. Let's talk a little bit more about the bullpen, because not only do I think it said a lot about Yuki Matsui and how good he's been by going to him in the 6th inning, up 3-1, with some of the Dodgers' big boys coming up. You got Freeman, then Betts, and then you got Muncy and Tucker, the lefties after that. Not only was it Craig Stammen showing faith in Yuki Matsui, but if there's one thing against this Dodger lineup that the Padres could really use, and this is going to be important, not just from a big-time postseason sense. I mean, we're so far away from that. But just in the next week and a half, remember, tonight was the first of 7 games these two teams will play against one another in the span of 10 days. They're going to face them tomorrow and Sunday, and then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday next week in LA. So you are going to see this team a ton. So this, just in the short term, is going to matter how you deal with their left-handed hitters. And we're talking Ohtani, we're talking Freeman, we're talking Muncy, we're talking Tucker, we're talking Rushing. I mean, they have got some dangerous left-handed hitters, as you know, if you've watched the Dodgers the last handful of years. What I really like about this sort of new development where Yuki Matsui comes in to face those lefties in a high-leverage spot as you get later into a game is now you're introducing another left-hander outside of Adrian Morejon that can maybe get these guys out. And look, that's a spot where, if you're in a high-leverage spot where it feels like the game might be on the line, even in the 6th inning, Would it have been crazy there for Craig Stammen to go to Adrian Morhone? It wouldn't have been. I don't think it would have been, because, he might look at it and say, you know what, we got to get these lefties out, and we'll figure out the rest in the 7th, 8th, and 9th, but this game might be hanging in the balance right now. But what using Matsui allows you to do is to push Morhone to the next time they come up. And now you're looking at a scenario in the late innings where you had a lefty that you have trust in, ready for that spot, ready for that stretch of lefties in the 6th inning, and then you had Morhone, and who doesn't want to see him face those guys? You had him ready for the 8th inning. So to me, if Yuki Matsui can prove that he can get those guys out, and if he has inserted himself, at least in this case, into the quote-unquote high leverage group, then I think all of a sudden you're looking at multiple trips through the Dodger lineup late in the game where you can send 2 lefties you have a lot of confidence in to go face Ohtani and Freeman and maybe Muncy and Tucker, depending on how the lineup looks. Morhone, goes without saying, is a guy that's going to face those hitters. But if you're telling me now that you have trust in Yuki Matsui to go get those guys too, to me, that is a major development for this bullpen in this specific matchup against the LA Dodgers. I think that's a really, really important development for this pen. We kind of spoiled it a little bit, but let's tell you about our relief pitcher of the game.
Which pitcher entered the game and slammed the door shut? This is today's relief pitcher of the game, brought to you by San Diego criminal defense attorney David P. Shapiro. We help good people regain control of their future when charged with a crime. Learn more at davidpshapirolaw.com.
Matsui will deliver. Tucker swings, sends it in the air to right center field. High and deep, but very playable. Merrill and Tatis there. Merrill makes the catch, and the inning is over. No runs, 1 hit, and now the Dodgers will leave them loaded.
Yeah, Yuki Matsui, our relief pitcher of the game. Yuki coming in the 6th inning, did give up the double to put 2 on base. Then he issued the intentional walk to Mookie Betts. But bottom line, Padres up 3-1 at the time, faced Muncy and Tucker, got them both. Dodgers strand the bases loaded and kept the Padres ahead 3-1 through the top of the 6th inning. Now, Adrian Morhone also got out of a big-time jam in the 8th inning. He, got into it himself, a couple of singles to Pajes and Freeman, then gets that huge double play ball off the bat of Mookie Betts. So certainly Morhone would have been a candidate as well. But I don't think you can say enough about what Yuki Matsui did in that 6th inning. I really think you can't say enough, because I think you're probably lying if you say you weren't a little surprised when it was Yuki coming in, and Buehler at that point was at 74 pitches. So, it's not like they had to go get him, but there was a sense of urgency tonight from Craig Stammen to say, no, 3rd time through, we've seen Walker. This was a bit earlier in the year, but as the game got later, start to struggle a little bit, get hit a little bit as the game got later. I just thought it was a marvelous job by Craig. I mean, that was managing your bullpen with a sense of urgency, and Matsui found his way out of it. So for that reason, Yuki Matsui, our relief pitcher of the game. We'll get to your phone calls here in a second. First, let's tell you about the heart of the Padres order.
Let's take the pulse of the Padres and check in on the heart of the order. Presented by Palomar Health, the official healthcare provider of 97.3 The Fan. Palomar Health, leading with heart for every patient. Palomar Health is reimagining healthcare.
Part of the order here tonight, 3, 4, 5 spots. We're talking Jackson Merrill, Manny Machado, and Gavin Sheets. Jackson, a quiet night. He went 0 for 4. Manny did have a double in this game, a couple of walks and a run scored. Gavin Sheets, 1 for 3, with a single, run scored, and a walk in this one here tonight. So that's a quick look at the heart of the order. Merrill, Machado, and Sheets, what they did in this 7-1 win for the Padres against the Dodgers. Let's get to the phones. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973, the phone number to dial on our Jamul Casino Resort Padres post-game show. Let's begin things on the phones here tonight on this Friday. We go to Santee. It's Brandon calling in. Brandon, you're on the Padres Radio Network with Sam Levitt. Welcome in. Go ahead.
What's going on, Tammy? I just have a question about when Andujar, Cronenworth, and Laureano get healthy. What is this lineup going to look like? What do we do in left field? What do we do in right field? What do we do at second? Like, it's kind of first world problems, but
Yeah.
It's a question.
Yeah, it's a good question, Brandon, and appreciate the phone call. Well, number one, Andujar is back. And I think right now, Andujar, because of the way that some others have played and just the way he fits in, I think Miguel's going to be more of that right-handed bench off the bat. Doesn't mean he's not going to start, against the lefty. He'll probably DH. But, I think Miguel's going to kind of be the right-handed DH against lefties. And if he's not, he's probably going to be a right-handed bat off the bench. It does feel like Andujar has probably lost a little bit of playing time as a starter since he went on the IL. Now, the question about Cronenworth, I think, is actually fairly straightforward because Jake will come back. Jake's going to play when he comes back. I would think he just slides into second base and Tatis goes back to right pretty much every day, and Taylor's playing left. There's no way Simon Taylor's not playing with the way he's going right now. Who cares that he took an 0 for 3 tonight? He's just been sensational. He's got to play until further notice. So I would think, let's say Jake came back at some point during this road trip, which, we'll see how the rehab stint goes. He started it tonight at AAA. I don't know how many games it's going to take for Jake to come back. But let's say he comes back at some point next week. I would think it's pretty straightforward that Jake plays second base, that Tatis will play right most days. Doesn't mean that Tatis won't play any second base anymore. I'm sure he will because, look, Jake's going to have to hit a little bit. He's going to have to hit more than he was before he went on the IL. But I would think most days it'll be Cronenworth at second base. It'll be Tatis in right field. And that's basically the adjustment is Tatis goes to right, and that's about it. I actually think it's pretty straightforward with Jake. As far as Laureano, here's the thing, Brandon. I don't know that he's going to be back this year. That sounded very, very questionable if he would be back by the end of the year. That was a major surgery. It's about a 4 or 5 month recovery process for the labrum surgery. It sounded certainly like not a sure thing that Ramon would be back this season. So I wouldn't worry about it until we get towards the very end of the year. And if we start hearing rumblings that maybe he will be back before the year's over, or maybe in a postseason sense, we'll worry about it then. But to me, unfortunately, Ramon is kind of out of sight, out of mind until we get towards the end of the year. Let's go to Luke calling in. Luke, you're on the Padres Radio Network on this Friday evening. Go ahead.
Hey, good evening, Sammy. How you doing this evening, man?
Doing well.
Hey,
doing well.
I just want to say I'm really grateful for all of the Postgame shows that I've listened to you for over the year. You've always given out some good information. I appreciate that. I was at the ball game tonight, as I am every single Friday night, and I got to tell you, I was really, really disappointed. I've been a season ticket holder since 2014, and tonight was the first night that I really felt like that there were more Dodger fans in our ballpark than there were Padres fans. We're in the middle of a fight. I know that we're struggling right now, but I knew a lot of season ticket holders that went and sold their seats. I know they made a bunch of money on it, but I got to tell you, I was really disappointed in our fan base tonight. Super disappointed. Just because I saw nasty blue every single where. The fellas played very good tonight. I loved how they played. I loved how they didn't give up. And that's all I got to say, Sammy. Thanks.
Yeah. Appreciate the phone call, Luke. Look, it's a tricky thing because this place is sold out almost every night. And if it's not sold out, it's very, very close. So the place is packed with Padres fans every night. Now, there's no way getting around that during the regular season Dodger games. And look, I don't know what the answer is. They show up and it's 2 hours up the road. Orange County's right there. I'm sure you have some semblance of Dodger fans, down here in San Diego. I don't know. look, I don't know what the answer is. I'm not going to, get on the Padres fans. I don't know if it's all secondary market. I don't know. I'm not going to pretend to be the ticket expert here. I'm not. Look, obviously, during the regular season games, you do get, a contingency of Dodger fans here. I don't really have an opinion on it other than I kind of shrug my shoulders at this point and say it is what it is. What I take solace in knowing is it would be, here's where I really don't care about it. Like, is it annoying? Yeah, I get it. And I get for a Padres fan, I totally get why it's annoying. And you're like, man, how do we let these people in, right? And how are they making noise? I get it. I totally get why it's annoying. I guess I just look at it this way. I take solace in the fact of this place is full of Padres fans every night. And when I say full, and if you've been here, it's full. It's full. The place is packed up in brown and gold. So it's just one of those things. It's not a function of, the Padres need the Dodgers to sell out the place. That couldn't be farther from the truth. I just think it's the proximity and probably secondary market. Again, I'm not going to pretend to be ticket expert here, but look, or get on any ticket. I'm not going to do that, but I certainly get why it's frustrating. And just from a Padre fan standpoint, you're in your own building, and I get why it's annoying. I don't have a great answer. I don't have a great analysis, but I do take solace in the fact of it's not I think it would be really annoying if that was the only time this place was sold out, when the Dodgers are here. Like, that would be annoying, but knowing that is so far from the case, it doesn't, I kind of shrug my shoulders at this point. So I don't know if that's a great answer, but it's kind of where I'm at with it. Let's go to Ben in Pacific Beach calling in. Ben, you're on the Padres radio network. Ben and PB, hit me. What you got?
Yeah, Sammy, what is up, my brother? Thank you for taking my call, my man.
You got it.
I just wanted to say, man, base runners. The Padres got on base tonight, and they scored. They took advantage of it. I was loving to see it. I was in the ballpark tonight. It was electric. There was a lot of Padres fans out, matching the chants, matching the energy. But people got on base, and they hit them in. That is what I love to see. Also, one thing I thought was interesting was the sub for Andujar at first, when they put in Sungwoo Son to pinch hit. I just thought that was interesting. I kind of thought we were going to see Andujar there in a big spot, but Sungwoo Son came up big. He got a hit.
Yeah. Well, Ben, he had come in earlier as a pinch runner, and so he was already in the game.
He did come in as a pinch runner. Okay.
Yeah, for Wagner. Okay. That was in the sixth inning. So that's why he came up.
First. I saw Andujar coming in first.
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit earlier. So Andujar came in, and Ben, appreciate the phone call. Andujar came in for France in the ninth inning just to play defense because France had got hit. So they were two separate moves. Song had come in to pinch run for Wagner in the sixth inning, and then his spot came up in the midst of that eighth inning rally, and it worked. He came up with a big 2-run single, so it worked out really nicely. Just to get to Ben's point, and then we'll go to break here. We'll get to the out-of-town scoreboard coming up in a little bit. One thing we talked about pregame today, and it was on display again in this game, and I think Kevin Acee asked a question about it to Craig in the postgame press conference. We talked about this pregame. Let me bring up the numbers here again, and I'll just give you the numbers, what they were entering today, because I don't have them updated, including tonight. The Padres, in the last 17 games before tonight, had 139 at-bats with runners in scoring position. If you looked at the 18 games before that 17-game span, they had just 84 at-bats with runners in scoring position. So that increased by what? Almost, how much is it? Almost 60 at-bats in essentially the same number of games with runners in scoring position from one 17-18 game stretch to the next. So the point is, one of the reasons the Padres offense has been more productive lately is just by the fact that they're creating more opportunities with runners in scoring position. Now, in this game, there's a version of this game. If the Dodgers come up with a big hit or two in some of their opportunities in the later innings, there is totally a version of this game where the Dodgers come up big in some of their opportunities, and we're talking here tonight in a way different manner about the Padres missing out on so many opportunities in the early part of this game. Because, yeah, France had the home run against Sasaki, but Ben, to your point, they had so many chances. They had the bases loaded in the fourth, they had the bases loaded in the fifth, and they didn't score either time. In fact, I wrote this down at the end of the fifth. They were 1 for 7 with runners in scoring position through 5 innings. The one hit they had was the France home run. So through 5 innings, the one hit was the France home run with a runner in scoring position. Otherwise, they were 0 for 6. I mean, they did have a lot of opportunities in the first half of the game to bust it open, and they did it. And it felt a little dangerous at the time. Now, it didn't end up biting them tonight. But, Ben, let me flip it back into a positive. I think your point is, and again, the numbers that we just read from pregame back it up. They are doing a really good job right now at not just coming through with runners in scoring position more like they did in the 8th inning, but they're doing a much better job of just creating the opportunities. They're coming to the plate with runners on second and third way more than they were earlier in the year, in late May when they were really struggling. They're just creating the opportunities more. And to your point, that was on display again here tonight. So the reality is, if you create the opportunities, you're just creating more chances to cash in, and you're probably going to cash in, at least some of the time. So that has been a big part of, sort of the offensive turnaround here lately. And it was on display once again here today. All right, let's step aside. When we come back, might get to another phone call or two at 833-288-0973. We'll have a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard. We'll get you ready for tomorrow's game. And we'll also replay my post-game conversation with Ty France one more time for you. Padres win it 7-1 against the LA Dodgers on this Friday night. Padres have won 4 in a row. Our Jamul Casino Resort Padres post-game show continues after this.
Praying to a God that I don't believe in.
Our Jamul Casino Resort Padres post-game show continues here on the Padres Radio Network. Sam Levitt with you inside the loft here at the Western Metal Building at Petco Park. Final score here today, the Padres 7 and the Dodgers 1. Our Jamul Casino Resort Padres post-game show, as always, a great sponsor of our post-game coverage. Hey, player, the rooftop pool's open. Day passes are available, and the spa is calling your name. Jamul Casino Resort, the player's place. We'll have a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard coming up in a moment. If you missed my post-game conversation with Ty France, one of tonight's heroes, we'll play that for you in a moment as well. Let's squeeze in one more phone call here this evening. Let's go to Renee in Spring Valley. Hi, Renee.
Hey, what's up, Sammy? Oh, I'm so glad you took my call, man. Hey, you know what? I was enjoying the fact that I would say, in the first couple of innings, we roughed their pitcher up. It was on the Apple TV, and they're zooming in on this guy. He was suffering, and it was fun to watch. But the other thing that was very brilliant is the play from Manny when the bases were loaded and that pop fly rule and all that.
Mm-hmm.
That is so amazing that he
Very
can have
savvy,
that ability
yes.
to just be. I mean, that's something else,
Yep,
That's
totally.
on another level. And it's things like that. This game, before it began, we knew whoever makes the biggest mistake is going to lose the game. And we overcame that. And then, started smacking and did what we did. But it was a great thing to see, man.
Yeah, Renee, appreciate the phone call. You're totally right about that Manny play on the infield fly. That was with Muncy up, with the bases loaded. That was during that sequence with Yuki Matsui, that big sequence in the sixth inning. It was a very savvy play. It really was. I looked at somebody to my right. I was sitting in the main area of the press box tonight during the game. I looked to somebody to my right. I said, man, that was really savvy, because essentially what Manny's trying to do, he's trying to catch one of those runners trying to advance at their own risk, right, on the infield fly. And the Dodger runners were smart enough not to bite, but it was savvy. It was smart. It was, look, Manny's a smart baseball player. He's a savvy, high baseball IQ guy, and that was a really good example of it. So, look, ended up being, infield fly, and then you had Tucker flying out, and the inning was over. So, but I'm with you, Renee. That was kind of an underrated little moment in this game. All right, let's take a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard, tell you what's going on around the big leagues on this Friday night.
Let's take a trip around the bigs to highlight the scores that matter most with our out-of-town scoreboard. Presented by Jensen Premium Beef Patties. Always a hit for grilling.
Take a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard on this Friday night. Everything is gone final. Reds beat the Pirates in Pittsburgh 6-4. Noelvi Marte, a go-ahead pinch hit home run in the eighth inning in the win for Cincy. Tigers beat the Astros 8-0 in Detroit today. Keter Montero, really good outing, 7 scoreless innings to pick up the win. Orioles beat the Nationals 3-1 in Baltimore. Rangers beat the Blue Jays 5-4 in Toronto. The Rays beat the Diamondbacks 6-1 in Tampa Bay. Junior Caminero, his 20th home run of the season. Red Sox beat the Yankees 6-1 at Fenway Park tonight. Wilson Contreras hit his 17th home run of the year. Red Sox pitcher Peyton Tolley, 7 scoreless innings in that win for the Red Sox. Phillies beat the Mets 2-1 in New York. Mariners beat the Guardians 3-1 in Cleveland. Colt Emerson, his 7th home run of the season. How about the White Sox? 22 runs on 23 hits. They beat up on the Royals 22-1. 5 home runs in that game for Chicago. White Sox are playing well. They're 4 games above 500 at 42-38. Brewers beat the Cubs 6-2 in Milwaukee. William Contreras, his 9th home run of the year. So Wilson hitting the home run at Fenway and William hitting the home run in Milwaukee. Brothers going deep tonight. 9th home run of the year for Contreras. Jacob Mizorowski, another good outing in Milwaukee. 6 innings, 1 run allowed for the win. The Twins came back to beat the Rockies in Minnesota tonight, 9-8 and 10. Twins got a run in the 9th inning to tie it, scored a run in the 10th inning to win it. Marlins blanked the Cardinals 4-0 in St. Louis. The A's over the Angels 9-3 in Anaheim, and the Braves beat the Giants in San Francisco 3-1. And that is a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard. On this Friday night, we had a busy day in news from around baseball today as well. If you missed it, this morning, Carlos Mendoza was fired as Mets manager. Former Padres manager Andy Green named the interim manager in New York throughout the rest of the season. David Stearns, Mets president of baseball operations, very clear that Andy Green would not be the manager of the Mets under any circumstance beyond the season. He will apparently return back to a front office role. He was the farm director for the Mets, but they did make him the interim manager for the rest of the year. And then, and this was at 5 o'clock, sometime around then, Angels announcing they had fired Perry Manassian, their general manager. Sort of an interesting time in June to be firing a general manager, but he's out as the general manager of the Angels, and they named John Mozeliak, the former Cardinals president of baseball operations. They named him the new interim GM, essentially, up in Anaheim. So interesting day of news and scores around the major leagues. Final score, Padres 7, Dodgers 1. Let's hear tonight's play of the game.
One bounce, one hit, one pitch can be the difference between victory and defeat. What was the most important play in today's game? This is today's play of the game. Presented by Bill Howe Plumbing, Heating and Air, Restoration and Flood. We know how.
Leeds and Machado take their leads. The 0-2. Ty swings, hits it in the air, left field and deep. Edman is back. He's going to watch this one. Going to go! Ty France, a 3-run homer. He puts an 0-2 pitch over the left field wall. And for the second consecutive game, exit stage left for Ty France, and the Padres lead it 3-1.
Ty France's 10th home run of the season, a big one, turned an 0-2 slider around from Roki Sasaki, first career at bat against Sasaki, and hit it out, gave the Padres a 3-1 lead, and they go on to win it by a final score of 7-1. I caught up with Ty France right after tonight's game down on the field.
Ty, your first career at bat against Roki Sasaki. You fall behind 0-2. How are you ready to turn around that slider?
Yeah, I mean, he threw 2 really good pitches right out of the gate and kind of just went out and went into battle mode, and he threw a hittable slider and put a good swing on it.
A big home run on Wednesday, another home run here tonight. What's allowing you to tap into that power right now?
Just swing at the right pitches. My swing this month hasn't felt the greatest, but overall this year, I feel like my old self again. So the big thing is swinging at the right pitches.
4 straight wins. Does it feel like this team is starting to build some momentum again?
Yeah, I mean, we're playing good baseball right now against really good teams. So just got to keep building off each night and get after it the next day.
Packed house here tonight. This Padres Dodgers thing feel a little bit different than the last time you were in this uniform back in 19 and 20.
Yeah, definitely. We're a really good baseball team. So anytime you get to go up against one of the best teams, it's a lot of fun, and we're playing good baseball right now.
Ty, congrats on the big swing here tonight. Thanks so much.
Yeah, you got it.
That was Ty France right after tonight's 7-1 win against the Dodgers. Now, I didn't ask Ty there about his hand or his wrist, wherever exactly he got hit tonight by that pitch from Sasaki. It is next at bat. Now, I'll be honest with you, a little bit of that was on me. Part of it was that he stayed in the game and essentially finished the game. So, I didn't think a whole lot of it. However, I will tell you, if you didn't hear from Craig Stammen after the game, it did sound like there was just a mild amount of concern about France. X-rays were mentioned, which is not surprising anytime you get hit like that, and clearly we're in some discomfort. So, hopefully, fingers crossed, it is nothing for Ty France. He's very important to this team, obviously, but it does sound like maybe just something to keep in mind as we head into tomorrow. Hopefully, again, nothing at all for Ty France other than a bruise and being a little tender and a little sore in that spot by his wrist and his hand area. But Again, you heard Craig also say the fact that he stayed in, he took at bats, tends to be a pretty good sign for something like this. But again, it did sound like he would get some x-rays and, they'll do the usual stuff there. But again, a big thank you to Ty France for joining us after tonight's game. Ty, the big 3-run home run in the second inning to give the Padres a 3-1 lead. All right, taking a look ahead to tomorrow. Padres will go for a fifth consecutive win, the middle game of this 3-game series. Padres will face a tough customer on the mound tomorrow, right-hander Yoshinobu Yamamoto on the mound for the Dodgers, right-hander Randy Vasquez on the mound for San Diego. First pitch tomorrow, 5:40 p.m. Our EcoWater SoCal Padres pregame show will begin at 4:40. Certainly hope you can join us then. As always, if you missed any portion of our postgame coverage, you can go back and listen to all of it on the Inside San Diego Baseball podcast, available on the Odyssey app or wherever you find your podcast. You can also go back on the 97.3 The Fan YouTube channel and watch any portion of our postgame coverage there as well. Taking a look at the final totals here tonight for the Padres. 7 runs, 7 hits, no errors. They left on 7. For the Dodgers, 1 run, 7 hits, no errors. They left on 6. Winning pitcher tonight, Walker Buehler, who improves to 5-3. Losing pitcher, Roki Sasaki, who drops to 3-5. Time of game, 2 hours and 38 minutes. In the crowd at Petco Park tonight on a beautiful Friday evening. The 33rd sellout of 2026, 43,153. Once again, first pitch tomorrow, 5:40 p.m. Our pregame coverage begins at 4:40. Until then, for our great studio coordinator, the great Nick DiNucci, I'm Sam Levitt saying so long and good night from Petco Park. Again, the final score here tonight, the San Diego Padres 7 and the Los Angeles Dodgers 1. We'll talk to you tomorrow on the Padres Radio Network. Have a great rest of your Friday evening.